the Shiloh Hendrix case is wildly escalating, bro. Let's have a look at more of this stuff. Tell me something.
So the case of Shiloh Hendrix is revealing something that I think is quite important for American culture to think about. And I think that Aaron Magruder, the creator of the Boondocks, summarized it well a few years back when he described it as a lot of earned moral currency that has just all been used
Crazy.
up. And I think this really does
Crazy.
actually explain what is going on in what has become a kind of dueling GoFundMes with Shiloh Hendrix and Kamalo Anthony. So let's just listen to this for a minute.
Part of why the civil rights movement has been so successful, and part of why those who have come after in terms of our leadership have been able to maintain a presence, is that black people have always had a certain amount of moral currency that we have been using. And let me be the first to tell you, that's used up. White America has been watching us act like fools for a long enough time where any sympathy they may have had to our plight is completely gone. You're approaching a country that, forget hating black people or not hating black people, they just don't care. You can be talking about affirmative action, they can be like, I don't care. It literally is of no importance to me. I don't care about slavery. I don't care about segregation. I don't care about you. I don't care how many of you all go to jail. I don't care at all, because I'm broke.
So I don't think I think that for a large portion of white America, he is right on that. I think a lot of them just aren't bothered and are just getting...
I think there's some truth in that, for sure. It'll resonate with people.
On with their lives and just don't think about it. And the moral currency that the black community in America built up because of the history of slavery was a powerful thing, and I think mostly got spent during the 20th century. And the actions that spent this moral currency were not great. And I think actually there are moral questions about the general ethical norms of this community that really are worth digging into. I think Aaron is essentially what he's doing in the Boondocks, actually, which is a much bigger conversation that I don't really want to get into now. But I think we can just take him at face value that this is a question of moral currency, because there are lots of people who have decided that actually the acts that were that spent the moral currency the black community had built up actually expired. The currency is gone, and yet the acts remain, and so the acts are actually now building up a debt on the part of the black community, and this is the sort of reason why. When a black guy kills a white guy and black people raise him $500,000 with death to the white man attached to their
that's fucked up, man.
donations, then
that's fucked up.
I think that builds up resentment. I think that builds up a kind of anger that this is a two-tier system.
Yeah,
this is not fair, and the debt from a lot of white people's perspective was paid long ago and with interest, and so they're not shy about supporting Shiloh Hendrix because of this. And then you get the kind of bourgeois, snooty, looking down the nose perspective, which is, well, she's white trash. It's like, okay, maybe, but she's still part of their tribe, and so it doesn't really matter if she's white trash. What matters to people is the fact that this is a racial issue that is born out of the history of America. And it's not that there shouldn't be moral currency that comes out of slavery. It's just that shouldn't be parlayed into the ability to act in morally abhorrent ways and then find yourself with a very large, very well-funded, and very powerful group of backers that will cover up for this kind of behavior. And so people are just like, you know what, I don't care. I don't care if she's a single mother, a meth head, a sex worker, or whatever.
Yeah, people are just saying it. I donated another 50 because I either don't care or because they're now putting her pics on porn escort sites. They rallied around a fentanyl addict who used to put a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach and a murderer who knifed a kid in the heart. I don't care. Yeah. Glad to see the right has picked Shiloh Hendricks, a single mum meth head sex worker whose photos are all over escort sites, as both their champion and person they're donating $1 million to. Truly, the white race saved. It's a madness, and it shows you that racism is still running rampant in the hearts of people, isn't it?
It's not what this is about. Now, I did see that Shiloh had posted a message to someone saying, "No, I'm not a single mother. I've got a husband or a boyfriend or whatever it is. We've got 2 kids. He's the father of my children." She was just a mum taking her kids to the park, where they were filmed by a Somali alleged sex offender. Why wouldn't he be hanging out at the park? So I think that it's important to note that, look, for a lot of people, this just doesn't matter. That's not what this is about. And I think that this person actually is saying something true, or at least something they perceive to be true. Every person donating to Shiloh does so remembering their encounter with a misanthropic black individual, be it in businesses, sports, serving them on a bus, on a plane, on a boat, at a store, at a school, at a park. DMV, she just said the quiet part out loud. And I think it's hard to
I think there's probably truth to that as well.
say that there isn't a great deal of resentment built up in the black community against white people. I think that's obviously the case, and I think that that's something the black community itself has to deal with. I don't think white America can get rid of this racial hatred. At some point, the black community has to have a conversation about this, because there are lots of black people who are just very angry about this, and lots of them took to TikTok, and were inciting violence. Just I hope she gets hurt. I'm going to go and urinate on her grave when someone murders her. Which, I mean,
fucking hell.
If this was something going against the left, they'd call it stochastic terrorism. And so, actually, she probably
I just learned about that word today.
Is in a degree of danger. And of course, you have all of the usual race grifters whose entire careers are built on maintaining this hostile divide between the black and white community in America.
Yeah.
And inside,
they ensuring to let racists live on, let racism live on. They're ensuring racism's future, these sort of fucking people. What the fuck is wrong with them, man? Shiloh Hendricks called an autistic black child the N-word at a playground in Minnesota. Because she was recorded and the video went viral, white people responded by raising her over 125k at last count. This is how they're making America great again.
Angry and resentful people from within one community to not feel guilty about doing bad things to the other.
It's showing you that it's still there, running rampant.
And they are, of course, politicizing this and saying, well, look, see, this is just what they do. This is how they make America great again. And I'm sorry, I don't think that's helpful at all.
Yeah.
And like I said in the first video,
it's a mad situation, man.
Shiloh was in the right. I don't think you should be saying ethnic.
She obviously is not in the right, but it's the situation that's very interesting because it's showing you what the people think.
Slurs to children, of all people, if anyone at all.
Yeah, she should have known better as an adult.
Might be like, well, that's coming from you, but things change, right? But like I said before, I'm not going to condemn her for it, because this is not like the original starting point of racism. And the issue itself, which I think the author of the Boondocks has accurately pointed out.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of truth in what he said there.
It's not wrong for black people to say, well, look, calling a black child a slur and becoming rich, society is cooked. Well, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
But murdering a white teenager...
That's the thing, but the but is always going to be there, yeah? But murdering the white teenager and receiving $500,000, you know what I mean?
And also becoming rich, and that happened first. I think the society had some serious problems to begin with, don't you? I mean, I actually think that what Shiloh has done is way worse than what Carmelo has done. Sorry, the other way around. What Carmelo has done is way worse than what Shiloh has done. And again, I think the way
you murdered someone, you killed someone, someone's dead.
Black community responded to that is way worse than the way that these white people are responding to Shiloh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I agree, the society is cooked.
It
like,
is. It's a wrap on society.
Who was putting out the hand of friendship first, right, is the question. Which community is it that nurtures the deepest race grievance against the other? And this actually demands a bit of introspection. I mean, on the part of both communities. But I think if there's one thing you can't say, it's that the whites community in America hasn't tried to be anti-racist enough. They definitely have. And all that did was allowed race grifters from within your own community to pour hatred about white people on a daily basis without it being policed. So that now there are black people saying, look, I just hope she's murdered. And it's like, that's a bit extreme, Dave. But also, it's something that might actually
fucked
happen,
up, isn't it? That's messed up.
So the reason I say all of this is because it's not like there aren't black people who say something very similar. They're aware of the crime rates. And we'll just watch this video by a black chap who moved to a white neighborhood, and he can tell us why.
I don't know what black people talking about. Our neighborhoods are safe. You want to go live next to, you want to go shopping at some black businesses? Go ahead. I'm black. I live here. Okay? I live in this HOA protected community. My neighbor over here, he just got the $80,000 truck the other night. Not worried about it because he knows we all got guns here. We will pull some shit out on your ass. You walk up over here looking like you don't belong. Why the fuck would I want to live in a ghetto? You out your goddamn mind? I don't feel safe around my own people. Are you fucking kidding me? Never. I live in white America because this is where I'm safe. I'm safe here. Have a good day. Fucking black unity.
Madman.
So the whole point
Madman.
he's making is, well, you can...
I think there'll be a lot of people thinking that as well.
You can make any kind of appeal to the tribe that you like. Everyone has a tribe, just to be clear. But the virtues of the tribe have to warrant one's attachment to it as well. It's not just that, oh well, they're one of ours. And this is what is underpinning the calling Shiloh white trash. That's people in the other tribe saying, well, I don't really want to stick my neck out for her because she doesn't really measure up to my standards. And I don't want to end up essentially like them. And so it's not wrong to say that it is basically the same thing, right? It's both sides now doing it.
Yeah, true.
What did you expect? Did you expect that one side would have an infinite supply of moral currency to do this destructive and engage in this destructive pattern of behavior forever until the other side didn't respond? I mean, I think that's just wishful thinking. At best, to be honest. And
He's right.
I don't know how to properly have this conversation with Americans, but I can definitely see it as an outsider, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jacob Wells of Give Send Go, co-founder, said, look, we've disabled the comments on the fundraising campaigns of Carmelo Anthony and Shiloh Hendricks because there is an unacceptable volume of racist and derogatory remarks.
Okay.
Now, he hasn't deleted the fundraisers, right? Which I think is an interesting decision to make.
Of course not.
It would actually be easier for them to deplatform.
This is a great moment in their business. This is an amazing... This is a boom time for their business, whether that Give and Send, whatever it is, the website. This is a boom time for them. Of course not. This is the busiest they've been.
It would avoid making this a nexus of the racial conflict that clearly underpins a lot of American society. But he hasn't done that. What he's done is decided that it would be better just to try and mitigate the amount of racism. Now, it is fair for people to point out that this is a double standard because when it was Carmelo Anthony's campaign, he said, look, I don't like these either, which I'm sure he doesn't, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's a little thing called free speech, and that's actually important in our country. You should have seen the comments on the other campaigns, blah, blah, blah. And for this one, of course, he disabled it. But he disabled them both. And I think he probably does have a commitment to free speech, obviously. And I think that it's not actually about double standards here for him. I think it's about the worry that this becomes a nexus from which something bigger grows.
Yeah.
And he's put on the horns of a dilemma, and it's not an easy one to come to a good conclusion on. Anyway, so The Carmelo Anthony Fund is at $521,000, and Shiloh's one is $557,000. And people are saying, look, we've beaten them. Isn't that good? Well, I mean, if you look, anonymous giver 15 minutes ago, 23 minutes ago, 32 minutes ago, 1 hour ago, this fundraiser had basically run out of steam until this began. And so now the black community is donating to it in competition with the Shiloh one. And
it's a madness. What a madness. Yeah. We're in a madness. Yeah. It's a madness. Yeah. We're all clowns. We run around here. Yeah. It's a fucking madness. Yeah. Fuck this, man. I want to get off.
And it's become a kind of, again, dueling fundraisers. Now, to be honest with you, I suspect that both Carmelo and Hendrix themselves have no doubt they need the money. I mean, actually, no, Carmelo probably doesn't need the money.
They've called each other and said, "Man, we're winning. Let's keep this up." Imagine.
But I'm skeptical about just giving your money, and people have given quite a lot to random people to whom viral flashpoints have happened. Right? I'm personally not encouraging this.
Sorry.
Again, I'm not going to condemn anyone who has or anything like that, but I just don't think this is entirely wise. And I mean, obviously, only ever donate money if you can afford to donate money, in the first place. But so you've got, again, with Shiloh's fundraiser, people still very much fundraising in the moment now, and so you can see that this it's not going away. One community isn't.
It's an interesting situation, man.
And people are taking a victory lap saying, "Look, we've beaten the Carmelo." And
I keep talking about we need unity. All I'm seeing is division. We need to unite. All I'm seeing is fucking division. We have to get together, my peoples. I swear, we have to unite, man. Regardless, we have to reunite.
Anthony won. We've outraised them. Isn't that good? But I think people didn't realise that, because I go on Blue Sky to see what the word is
Blue
in
Sky.
the woke sphere,
Okay,
and they have this fundraiser at GoFundMe, which is help us seek racial justice for a 5-year-old facing racial hate.
This is a battle.
And they've got the picture of Shiloh there, and the NAACP are raising this money for the autistic 5-year-old. I'm sure that's not an actual picture of him, who she insulted. And so you can see this is getting lots of donations now and has raised $330,000. So if this is a unitary ledger, then, well, to beat Carmelo and this one, you would have to raise about $850,000. And again, I'm not suggesting that you do give Shiloh another $300,000. I think that the $500,000 plus that she's been given will probably be sufficient. But this speaks to a much deeper issue in American society.
Yeah.
And
honestly, it's not a good sign.
Prevailed, but of course, that's not going to happen.
It's not a good sign.
And it would be nice if an honest conversation about the subject could be had. And I don't know if that's going to happen either.
Yeah, sticky situation, isn't it? It's a bit of a sticky situation. We've just got sticky situations here, ladies and gentlemen. It's what's going on. But until tomorrow, my boys and girls, take care for now. Peace and love. Peace and love.